What are you doing, big boys? Let's see if they play today. They haven't been in the playing mood lately. What are you doing, Jupiter? The boys. See if they play today. Come on, boys. There you go. Boys not in the playing mood lately. Maybe I guys take you guys live and we go hiking later. Let's see if we can go on a nice new hike for the boys later. Say hello, boys. They're very quiet lately. They don't want to play. The boys are quiet. Today's a quiet day for them. Usually they're jumping around like crazy. What are you doing, boys? You want to go inside? You don't want to play? I just took them on a nice walk. What do you want to do, boys? You want to go inside? Look at them. What are you doing? Boys are not usually this quiet. That's too fun. There they go. Not even a interaction. I don't know why they're so quiet lately. They went to guard mode, and I don't think they've ever left it. A couple of days ago, they went into like guard mode, and I don't think they've ever left it. What you doing, boy? We got a little bit of playtime. What are you doing, boys? Nope. No interest in playing. Just paying attention to what's around. They went to guard mode a couple of days ago, and they've been stuck in it ever since. What you doing, boys? That's the wolf. And here's the bear. Usually they're so active too, but not lately. There he is, the little wolf. Jupiter the wolf. Say hello, Jupiter. Justin's stuck in guard mode. He's usually the one that plays all the time. He's the one that likes to lay around. What you doing, boy? What you doing, Jupiter? Just focused on their surroundings. The two most active dogs I've ever seen are quiet. They're hams for the camera, too. They're very, very protective mode lately. Even in the house. So they'll take turns watching the door. One will go watch the door while the other one sleeps by me, and then they'll rotate shifts. Then the other one will go watch the door while the other one sleeps in my room. It's like rotating shifts. It's pretty funny. They've been in guard mode lately. Why are you in guard mode, boys? Why are you guys so quiet? You're not playing. I'll take them hiking later. I'll do a live from there when I got them hiking with me. Going on a new hike. I went hunting there the other day. It was a beautiful area. As we're leaving, because we were just scouting the area. I had my bow, but no deer. We didn't see any. But as we're leaving, 7 deer go running in front of our car. That was hilarious. So there's a lot of deer over there. So we're going back there on Monday. See if we can bag a deer. Look at these guys. They're just stuck in guard mode. Like statues. The boys should be playing, but they don't. And lately they rotate shifts. One will guard the door, the other one sleeps in the room, and then they rotate shifts. And then they switch. But no activity. For huskies just to sit around, especially when they have the freedom to run, it's definitely odd, but They watch everything now. Look at them. A couple of days ago, they went into guard mode, and they've been there ever since. What's the matter, boys? You don't want to play? You don't want to play, boys? What's going on? They're young. They're only a year old. Their birthday just passed. December 23rd. They became 1 year old. But just because they're puppies, I'm shocked that they don't want to play the past couple of days. What are you doing, boys? You want to go home? You want to go inside? You want to play or you want to go inside? What do you want to do? Or you just want to sit there taking in the air? Later, I'll go live and see how much signal I got. I'm going on a new place to hike with them. I found it the other day when I went hunting. So we'll take them over there for a nice hike, and then I'll go live from there. What are you doing, big boys? Boring. Today they want to be boring. A couple of days ago they went into guard mode, and they've been stuck there ever since. Why are you stuck in guard mode, boys? What's going on? Hello, boys. Thanks for everybody stopping by. I'm just new at this, so I missed like half of the chats. Hi, James. I missed half of the chats. I haven't learned how to use this yet. So it's only been like a couple lives I did so far. Eventually I'll do more. I got used to it. But look at them. Just stuck. Stuck in guard mode for a couple of days now. Like they don't want to play. And for Huskies, everybody knows Huskies not wanting to play. What? But they do rotating shifts in the house now. One will stay by the door, the other one will be upstairs by my bed, and then they'll rotate. The switch guard mode. One will go to the door, the other one will go to the bed. It's pretty interesting. What are you doing, boys? You want to go inside or you want to play? What do you want to do? Uninterested. The boys are uninterested in anything right now, except to make sure whatever's in the neighborhood we're going to keep an eye on. Stuck in perpetual guard mode. It's pretty interesting. They always sense things, you know? But they're not. Let's see if I go in a cage with them. Maybe if I go in a cage with them, they'll play. Let's see. We're going to go in a cage. All right, let's go in with the boys. Let's see if they start playing. They feel better off sometimes when I'm in there. What are you doing, boys? What are you doing, boys? Justin. Look, they watch everybody. Oh, they got a dog. Now they'll play. They're excited now. Now they got a dog coming down. How you doing? Now they're excited. They're going to get real excited now because there's a dog out there. Say hi, boys.
How you doing?
All right, how are you? Yeah, they just turned 1.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, it's December 23rd. Now they're excited. See? Now they see a dog. Now they get excited. That's pretty cool. Say hello, boys. Yeah, now they're excited. Dog passes, they go into dog mode. There they go. Now they're getting a little wild. Just takes one dog to get them all riled up. That's pretty cool. They love to play. But when you have a husky, you gotta make sure you get the right dogs to play with them too. They're tough dogs. They're probably one of the toughest dogs out there. I love when they play. So when I got them, everybody was like, oh, they're brothers from the same litter. You can't have dogs from the same litter. And they're like the best of friends. And I had dogs from all different type of dogs. I had 3 dogs that were all from a different strain, and they used to fight all the time. Like they used to fight. These guys never fight ever. They play, but they never fight. They never get mad at each other. They give a little growl every once in a while if they got a bone, but otherwise they're very tight. These two. Now they're going back into guard mode. For a moment, they were out of guard mode. They saw a dog and they went out of guard mode. Now they're right back to it. Go play, boys. Nope. They don't want them. What are you doing, boys? Go play. They haven't played for, they'll run around a little bit, but right away they go right back into guard mode. Look at them. They're just stuck in that perpetual state of guard mode for days now. They played a little bit just now when the dogs passed, but what are you doing, boys? Hello, boys. You don't want to play? What are you doing? Why are you guys so quiet? Why are you so quiet, boys? My voice is just quiet. Look at them. It's nice to see him play a little bit when the dog passed, but like I said, they're stuck in guard mode. In my house, one will go to the door, stay by the door, guard the door. The other one will be by the bed, and then they'll rotate in the course of a night. Like little soldiers guarding the door. They rotate shifts all night long. One will sleep in my room, the other one will go to the door, and then they'll switch. It's like they have a timing too, which is pretty funny. They got a rotation already set. What are you doing, boys? With all the tension in the world, they got stuck in guard mode. Like, uh-oh, we got to get stuck in guard mode. There's a lot of tension in the world. Nobody could get along. Why, oh why is nobody getting along in this world? Why can't we just talk? Isn't that interesting? So I got this little thing I'm going to do later on a live. They have that Star Trek where the 2 guys from one world, each one is painted a different side of the face, a different color. They're all the same people. They're on the same planet, but they're pretty much making each other extinct. Even though they're pretty much the same, but they just can't get along and talk. And the last thing that's left is just them 2. Out of those 2 warring parties, it's just them 2 left. The whole world is destroyed, and they're all the only thing left. And instead of talking, they go right back to the planet, start fighting. Captain Kirk is like, come on now. Nobody wants to talk. Dialogue only starts on the 10% you agree on, not the 90% you disagree on. So if you're focused like these powers we have in this country that would like to focus on the 90% you don't get along with, you're never going to talk. Find the 10% you can get along with. There's always a conversation you can have. Find the 10% that you do agree on. Find some common ground. The 10% that you do agree on builds trust. And once you build trust, you could pretty much talk about anything. Talk about politics, sports, anything. All you got to do is get to that 10% that you do agree on. And then you could actually have a discussion about all things, and then maybe find some common ground in this world. Because right now, we're at a boiling point, and it's only getting hotter. And my boys, because you guys are all in a boiling point, my dog's just stuck in guard mode. They don't even want to play. Tension is so high that they're just stuck in guard mode. What's up with that? You guys got the world so tense that my dogs don't even want to play. They're just stuck in guard mode. It's pretty amazing. They went into guard mode the other day, and they've been stuck there ever since. Usually they do not stop playing. They are non-stop playing, day in, day out, day in, day out. But they are just all about business right now. Because you guys are all not talking, causing a lot of tension in the world. Can't get along. My dogs got stuck in guard mode. Can you believe that? What's up with you guys? Find the 10% you can agree on. Start talking to each other again. Don't worry about the 90% you don't agree on. That's just the world. You know, if you go to India and you come here, 90% is different. 10% is the same. We all got kids. We all eat. We all like life. So it's amazing that here in this country, it's the same thing as if you went to any other place in the world. 90% of what you believe in will be different. But you'll be able to travel and have a good time on the 10% you agree on. Yet here in America, we can't focus on the 10% we agree on. We only focus on the 90% we don't agree on. And that's by design. That's the powers that be, like to divide people, you know. Gotta have a base. The left has to have a base, the right has to have a base. And that base is right now setting the whole country on fire. Find something to agree on. Sit down and talk. And then once you earn that trust from the 10% you do agree on, you'll be able to talk about anything. Politics, you know, sports. As long as you can find something to agree on and start earning trust, you can pretty much talk about anything. I got people in my life I disagree with, and we still talk. And then I got people that were in my life for 30 years that don't agree with me anymore, and they pretty much cut me off on Facebook, on the phone, and everything. And that's an interesting dilemma. You spend 30 years knowing somebody, eating with them, dinner, lunches, everything, and then a little political thing, and you don't talk to each other anymore. You don't go see your family. You can disagree and still go hang out with your family. Talk about the 10% you have in common and disregard that part of you that you don't agree on. Go to Thanksgiving and just talk about family. You don't need to talk about politics when you're sitting there eating turkey dinner, but you're always going to regret the moment you missed with your family. When you get older, you know, when I was young, I was a rebel too. And I was a Democrat when I was younger. Now I'm a Republican. You know, you grow out of things. You have that rebellious streak grows out of you. But you regret every moment that you missed with your family. That you can never get back. Before you know it, your parents get old, your grandparents get old, and then they pass away, and you missed everything with them. And all that anger and all that stress and all these things you thought were important, they're not important anymore. You always brought back into remembrance of what you lost. Find something to get along with. Find the 10% you can agree on. Stop all this tension in the world. It's silly. Like a bunch of little children. Always arguing. It's all mine, 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 mine. You ever seen those cartoons? It's all mine, 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 mine. That's where we are now. And I think AI is a bad thing now. We don't have the resources. We don't have the power. And it's going to cause a global war now. Because the powers that be are little children. The little children that can't get along, whining and crying. All these politicians are whining and crying like a bunch of little girls. It's mine. It's all mine. I want Greenland. You can't have Greenland. You're a whole bunch of little sissy girls. You know? Little sissy girls. Crying like little girls. Fighting over things that aren't even theirs. So if AI is going to cause this kind of global problems, then you should shut AI down till you have the proper resources without having to go to war over them. I mean, just common sense, little boys in the world, little girls in the world running the world, all wanted to go to war. Learn nothing. The world's been around for a long time and people learn nothing. The global powers still learn nothing. A bunch of little children. Can you imagine they're fighting over pebbles? And we are expendable to them. When it comes to power, your children, your sons, your daughters, you're expendable. They rile you up. It's for the cause. Everybody's got to fight because it's for the cause. They couldn't care less if any of our kids lived or died. They're all monsters. I had hope in them, but there's no hope. A monster is a monster is a monster. You know? When you're willing to sacrifice everything for resources, you can't get along. You're telling me you can't share? You guys are all too small to share? Because power and money. What do you think? We'll set up an elite zoo where we put all the elite in the zoo, and then everybody will visit them and they'll have nothing and they'll be happy. We'll just put them in the zoo. What do you think? Want to put the elite in the zoo? Could all visit them. We'll talk about all the wars they started and all the people that died. We can visit them and we'll feed them like good little boys. Don't drink that, boys. What do you think? Should we put the elite in the zoo? What do you think? That sound good to everybody? We'll cage them up. Don't worry, guys, you elites. We'll make sure you have nothing and enjoy it. What do you think? You think the elite should be in a zoo? How many people think the elite should be in a zoo that we could all visit? Could all feed on, just like the lions and tigers and bears. We have an elite zoo. We'll take good care of them, We'll feed them. We'll give them food. We'll give them water. We'll all visit them. And we'll go, that was a memory once. The wild days. When the elites ran wild. Sacrificed our kids and our children. Couldn't get along. How's about that? It will burn down the whole world for power. Can you imagine that? Power and money, you'll burn down the whole world? What kind of people are that? Look at my boys. What are you eating mud for? Hey, what are you doing? What are you eating mud for? I don't even understand these dogs, why they eat mud. Dirt. Huskies are an interesting thing. My other dogs will never... They will dig deep and get mud all over their face. They'll be chewing on the dirt. I don't understand that one. What do you think? Anybody got an idea why that happens? Hello, everybody. Whoever I missed. Hello. The elites. The elites are very small. Very tiny people. Very tiny men. Not worth the paper their birth certificates were printed on. All they know is war, war, war. We're gonna go to war. It's ours. Everything's ours. Like a bunch of little children. I wonder who created them. They don't seem human like us, right? They have no morality. They couldn't care less if the whole world burned. What do you think? Who created these people? Who created the elite class? Anybody got any ideas who created the elite class? Anybody? They all seem like they're not human at all. No humanity in them. You get the Hollywood elites. They'll start doing all these movies about war. World War III will be coming. They'll be all war movies. Then the elites, they'll be funneling all the money to the military. Good boys. Get ready, boys. We're going to war. And they couldn't care less about us. It's always about power to them. Little disgusting boys. Always worried about power, power, power. There's enough resources in this world for us all. You don't think God provided enough resources in this world for everybody? Find a way to share, little boys. My boys are stuck in guard mode because there's so much tension in the world. My boys don't even want to play. There's so much tension in the world right now. Can you believe that? Stuck in perpetual guard mode. Because you can't find 10% to agree on? Is that what it is? Everybody's too small to find something to agree on? You guys want to go to war in the streets? You want to cause chaos? Is that all you know? Chaos? Protesting? Burning things down? What is the deal? What is the malfunction, people? Somebody tell me what the malfunction is, because I'm stunned. I could pretty much get along with anybody. And I've had people do horrible things to me. I still let it go. So what's up with everybody else? Why are you stuck in this perpetual mode of anger? What made you get there? Don't let the elites keep you at each other's throats. They couldn't kill us if we all burned down each other. Find 10% to agree on. Stick with that 10%. That'll earn trust. And once you have trust, you can pretty much talk about anything. That's how conversations start. If you're going to go to China, 90% of what you know is different. You're going to use the 10% that you agree on to get to know each other in China, right? If we go to China, you're going to start talking about the 10% you agree on, and that'll earn trust. That's the same thing here in America. 90% we're not going to agree on. That's just fact. We're all different individuals, but there is a 10% you can agree on. Don't let them focus on your differences. The elite have you focused on your differences now, because they want you to fight, because their power is waning. And when their power is waning, they start a global war. It's like a reset. World War I, World War II, that's like a reset. When you start getting wise to their grift, they start getting you at each other's throats. They start a world war. Because when there's total destruction everywhere, everybody's too worried about building, not worried about who's grifting. And then guess what? The elite get the grift again. That's their story. The patterns are always the same. Start chaos, start division, and go to war. It's funny. Restriction. They restricted the live. See, when you talk about the elites, they restrict the live. It's very interesting. See? Talking about the globalist. You get a restriction. Why is that? Is that how it works, boys? Restricting the lives because you don't want the truth out there, boys? The patterns are always the same, boys. Somebody's always watching. Patterns are always the same. So division and turmoil. World War I, World War II, and then World War III. But it is pretty interesting that you put a restriction on. That means I'm on to something, boys. You're in trouble. Daddy's mad. My Father in heaven is mad. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know what's coming. Because you don't listen. But I hope you're recording. Your power's waning. Your time's over. All you little boys causing trouble. What, oh what will we do with you? Say hi, boys. Boys. Say hi, boys. My boys, my good boys. Stuck in guard mode. Restrictions. TikTok put me on a restriction. I wonder what the restriction is. That's what we call taking away your First Amendment. Putting restrictions on you. That's what happens. That's how they silence the truth. They silence the truth by putting restrictions on you because they're terrified. You know, people get terrified. That's why they put restrictions. Stop your First Amendment, right? Because they're terrified. That means they're really scared. Start putting restrictions on you. They're really scared. My beautiful boys. Say hi, boys. 10-minute restriction. Boy, oh boy. Say hi. Say hi, baby. Say hi, Justin. Say hi, Justin. What to do with the little boys? Limited visibility. Restricted for 10 minutes. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results for the next 10 minutes because your live does not comply with the For Your Field eligibility standard under the community guidelines. Reason: misinformation that may cause moderate harm. Hey, the elites restricted me. That's a good sign. When the elites are restricting you, you're on the right path. Remember that. When the elites put a restriction on you, oh yeah, you're on the right path. Visibility. Another 5 minutes before we can get more visibility. Can you believe that? They restricted us, people. That means they know they're in trouble. You know, when the elites start restricting you, they're in big trouble. And they know it. And I love that. Their time's coming to the end. They're grasping at straws for every last penny and every last nugget. But in the end, their time's over. Little boys that can't play along. What to do with little boys that misbehave? What are you doing, boys? Yeah, they restricted me. I can't get no live contact because when you take on the elite, they restrict you. Can you believe that? Ain't that something? They just can't get along. Hi, everybody. We're on restriction now. We gotta wait. Got minutes to wait before we can go back live to take on the elites again. It's amazing that they put that in place on your TikTok. Misinformation. We're on the verge of global war, and they call that misinformation. But when this whole country and the world burns, then you would be right? Oh, look, my boys are actually playing. My boys are playing. That's good. They've been stuck in guard mode. That's my boys right there. Look at them. Look at them. They're playing. That's good. Gotta wait till my restriction's over. Locked me out. The elites got scared. They restricted my TikTok. Community guidelines, misinformation. The elites are good boys. They don't do nothing bad. We're always good. They restricted me because I was calling them out for being little bad boys. Can you believe that one? Little boys misbehaving. Oh, yeah, the boys are doing a show right now. The boys are smart. They're doing a show so we can get on TikTok live again. I love it. They're really active. They haven't done this in days, which is good. They're excited. My boys are excited. Look at that. The boys are going at it. Nice. Been a long time since they played. Been days since they played. Oh, they're moving. They're making me spin around. They're moving. Boys are having fun. Yeah, they are. My boys. See how much time we got on our restriction. What do we got left? How long did they got us to? Oh, 48 seconds. We're almost out. Almost out of jail, boys. We're almost got it. Don't drink that. Don't drink that, boys. Hey, hey, don't drink that. That's stagnant water. There's water inside, boys. Boys actually ran around for a little bit. We're going to be out of the restriction in a couple of minutes. Don't drink that, boys. That's stagnant water. Don't drink that. I mean, they're dogs. They can handle it, but I don't want them drinking it. Let's see. We're almost out of jail, people. We're almost out of jail. They put us in jail. They stopped our live. You know why? We started talking about the elites. They put a restriction on me. You believe that? That's when the elites are terrified, scared little boys. Got to put restrictions on you. A lot of people missed it. But that's how you know they're scared. They're scared little boys. Put restrictions on you. They put a restriction on my TikTok because I started talking about the elites, how they're pillaging the world. They put a restriction on my TikTok. They shut down my live. But that's how you test the system. That's how you see how scared the elite really are. They start putting restrictions on you. What you can say, what you can do, what you can eat, where you can go. Hey, we're a free society. And they put a restriction on my TikTok. Not too free, is it, people? But it's good to test the system. It's good to see where the elites' heads are at. That's how you know they're terrified. When the elites start putting restrictions on you, hi everybody. That's when you know they're terrified. Scared little boys. Scared little boys, they gotta put restrictions on. Can't hear somebody's truth, can't hear somebody talking. Make sure you quiet everybody. He's giving away the secrets. When somebody starts giving away the secrets, the elite go into a full panic. They want you divided. They want you separated. They don't want you to come to the conclusion that it was always them causing all the problems. Find something to get along with people. Do yourself a favor. Go talk to somebody you don't agree with. Find the 10% you can agree with. Start talking. Stop letting them divide you. They're dividing everybody on purpose. And they put a restriction on my account when I was talking about what they were doing. Talking about the bad boys. When you talk about the bad boys, they put restrictions on you. They lock your account. They shut your live down. They don't want the word to get out. You start talking about their secrets, they start shutting you down. My boys, look at my good boys. You guys just missed. They went crazy in the yard. running around, you know. But they restricted that because they didn't want nobody talking about their elite class. But my boys went right back into guard mode. The elite, the little elite boys being bad boys, sowing division throughout the whole world. Do me a favor in America. Find somebody you don't agree with and go talk to them. Find the 10% you agree on, and you realize you're not that different. If you go to another country in the world, you will not agree with 90% of what they are because they're in another place. But there will be the 10% you do agree on. You can find common ground to talk, right? How do you become a terrorist? You talk about the 10% you agree on. But they want you to focus on the 90% you don't agree on because they want division. They want you at each other's throats. That's how they control you. Find some common ground. Find something to talk about. Look, guard mode. My boys are in guard mode. Find something to talk about, people. Doesn't matter what it is. Talk about the trees, flowers. Find something to agree on. Because if you can find something to agree on, you realize you're not that much different. You won't be in the streets, battling each other in the streets. You just figure out that, hey, you can get along. But the elites don't want that. They want you at each other's throats. That's the goal. They can't pillage if they don't have you at each other's throats. The only way the elites pillage is if you guys are always fighting. Do yourself a favor. Find somebody you don't agree with and talk to them. You know, if you see ICE in the streets, sit down and talk to them. Talk about your family. Talk about your kids. Talk about their kids. Stop being at each other's throats. They got a job to do. You want to protest, protest. You both have kids. You both want to go home. Try and get along. There can be civil protests without being at each other's throats. You don't need to agree on everything. You need to respect law and order. And we also need to respect, our First Amendment, freedom of protest, gathering. Find some common ground. Law enforcement, reach out to the community. There's a job to do, but reach out to them. Find a way to find some common ground. Let them protest. Stop disrupting ICE. They got a job to do. They're just doing the job that they were hired to do. It's not their fault, All in all, they're just human beings like we all are. You think they're not. You don't think they feel. But that's the job. That's their job. That's the job that they got hired to do. And that's the job that they do. But everybody could be civil to each other too. Nobody needs to lose a life. Nobody needs to not go home. They'd like to go home. Protesters should go home. Everybody should be with their family after they, whether they protest, whether they don't, whether they do their job, whether they don't. But everybody should go home. And that's the problem. People are just loving it. When somebody doesn't go home, they make a big deal out of it. If an ICE agent gets hurt, they make a big deal. If a protester gets hurt, they make a big deal. Can you believe that? And both sides should just go home. You want to protest, do your job, you all should go home. ICE should find a way to do their job and reach out to the community. We're all citizens of the United States of America. And we all deserve to go home. They put me on a restriction early because I was talking about the elite dividing the country. You leave that one. My boys, look at my boys playing. Yeah, we're stirring up a hornet's nest. The elites are in a panic right now. He's stirring up hornets' nest. Put him on restriction. Block him. Stop him. He's letting out the secrets. You wouldn't believe what I know. Try and find some common ground, people. Find your 10% you agree on and talk. Stop fighting in the streets. It's the United States of America. It's called United for a reason. Find some common ground. Law enforcement, they're doing their job. Respect law enforcement. You want to protest peacefully. Stop battling in the streets. That's what the elites want. They want a narrative, right or left. The law enforcement gets hurt, the right or like, look at the monsters on the left. And if somebody on the left gets hurt, look at the monsters on the right. Look at law enforcement. Stop. Stop letting them divide you. The job has to be done. Our system is crashing and overloaded. Can't have 24 million illegals coming in here and the system not crash. Now, I don't believe in these wholesale deportations, but the system will crash. That's not what we want either. We want our children to prosper. We want the people in America to prosper. But we also don't want bad things to happen either. So, law enforcement needs to be more professional. Protesters need to be more civil. They like that. They like when you're at each other's throats. That's not a good thing. Find a way to get along. Find a way to find some common ground. Stop battling in the streets. It's the United States of America. We're supposed to be a beacon of light. Stop battling in the streets. Show some civility. Show the rest of the world what civility is, what goodness is, how to protest, how to do your law enforcement. Find a way for balance. Balance is important in the world. If there isn't balance, it's only chaos. Chaos is going to put all our children on the line, left or right, up and down. You're going to put everybody in jeopardy. Chaos serves nobody but the elite. That's when the elite make the most money. Did you know that? When chaos is around is when they make the most money. Wouldn't you believe that one? Can you believe that? That's when the elite make the most money. When the chaos ensues. Find a way to get along, people. I'm going to shut down the live because I'm hungry and my boys are hungry. Find a way to get along. Find your 10% you can agree on. And talk, man. Just talk. Stop all the division. Stop battling in the streets. And get on the same page. Don't let the elite divide you. That's my message for the day.